People complain, I don't like chicken breast, it's dry. Well, you're f***ing your chicken breast up. Chicken breast is not supposed to be dry. What's up guys, Coach KT here. In this video, I'm gonna be showing you how I prep my chicken breast. It's easy, it's relatively painless, it's quick, and it leads to very good tasting chicken. So you're obviously going to need a pack of chicken breast. So this is unopened, there's juice all in it and shit. It's slimy, it's slippery. I'm just gonna show you how I go about this, okay? First, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get my chicken breast over my sink and I'm gonna get this stuff drained. So I'm just gonna slice a hole in it and I'm gonna let all that juice just pour and drip out until it's mostly gone. Now, I know some people will wash their chicken breast, but I don't think that that is a needed step. And if you actually do some research, washing your chicken breast can just end up spreading any sort of bacteria and stuff and just creating a bigger problem than there needs to be. So I just drain out the excess liquid and then get to trimming it, okay? And the single most important tool you will need in trimming your chicken breast and being highly efficient is a good pair of kitchen shears. Nice, sharp kitchen shears dedicated to cutting up your proteins, or chicken breast in this case. So let's get into it. All right, so I got my kitchen shears. I'm just gonna remove that top layer of plastic. This goes straight in the bin. And now we are gonna cut away the fat and gristle. So nobody likes biting into gristly, chewy chicken, and you can largely avoid that by getting rid of the gristly, chewy chicken parts. And that's all I'm gonna do here. So I wanna take away as much of the fat and gristle while leaving as much of the actual lean protein as possible. So cutting along this top edge, I am going to be saving these scraps because I feed my dogs raw and they eat that. So just taking some time to get in here, cut away all these tendony, gristly looking bits, all the excess fat. And with the kitchen shears, it is very, very easy. And I don't have to dirty up a cutting board, okay? So that's one piece down. This one looks pretty good. On a side note, Walmart is usually terrible about trimming the chicken breast, whereas Aldi, their chicken breast is usually pretty well trimmed. So I'm gonna go through, get all the funky bits off, get all the pieces of fat off. There's usually a little bit of an edge where you can see it's like a tendon along the edge of that chicken breast, and you wanna get that off. This one has a bone in it. Who wants to crunch into a bone? Look at that. Cutting that right out. This is a fucking Frankenstein breast. What, they step on it? What is this? Cut that bit off. Anything that looks funky, get rid of it because you don't want to bite into that. So taking a few extra moments to get rid of it before you cook it can make your eating experience a lot more enjoyable. So that's it. All my chicken is cut, prepped, ready to roll. All the fat and stuff and gristle is off of it. Now from this point, you could just season it and throw it into your air fryer, oven, or however you're cooking it. But I would highly suggest that you have a little patience and prepare a little bit in advance, because throwing some seasoning on this chicken and allowing it to sit for an hour, 2 hours, or even from the day before makes a world of a difference in how flavorful the chicken is and how juicy it is. It's marinating essentially, right? So marinating doesn't have to be this complicated thing where you're using all these herbs and spices and, you know, doing this and that. No, just put seasoning on the chicken, whatever seasoning you want to use. It could be as simple as salt and pepper. Put some seasoning on the chicken and let it sit on it for a little bit and then cook it. That's it. And it makes a world of a difference. Me, I'm using something called good shit, okay? So I'm gonna get this on my chicken breast. I'm not gonna be super specific. I'm literally just gonna come in here, bap, 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 give them a flip around and hit the other side. Beautiful. That's it. Now I'm gonna throw this into my Tupperware and I'm gonna let it rest for a little bit before I cook it up, okay? This goes in the bin. So now I've got my chicken prepped, ready to roll. I'm just gonna let it sit in this flavoring for a little bit and let the salt and the seasoning soak into the meat and tenderize it. It makes a world of a difference, okay? So just a pointer on this. So from this batch of chicken, I might make several different types of chicken, okay? So I'm gonna cook it all, but when I go to prepare a meal, that meal might be a plain chicken and rice meal. That meal might be a stir-fried chicken and rice. That meal might be chicken and sweet. I could make maybe pasta. I could do pasta with this, right? If that is the case for you and you want to have a little bit of variety in your meals, I would highly suggest going with a seasoning that is very general, right? If you were to use something like a Greek seasoning, right? This is a good one here. If you were to use something like a Greek seasoning, then it would probably not taste very good in a, like a fried rice type deal, right? This has a very particular flavor profile, whereas something like salt and pepper, you can repurpose that prepped chicken breast for multiple different types of flavor profile meals, right? So just keep that in mind. And then the other tip that I'm gonna give you is to get a fucking food thermometer. People complain, I don't like chicken breast, it's dry. Well, you're fucking your chicken breast up. Chicken breast is not supposed to be dry. And if you cook it to temperature, 165 degrees internal temperature, and take it out, when it reaches that temperature, your chicken breast will not be dry. I can promise you that. And so a digital food thermometer, this one, I can plug it into the chicken breast, leave it in while it's cooking, and then it'll tell me on my phone, hey dummy, the chicken's done, go take it out. And I take it out when it is perfectly cooked, perfectly tender, perfectly juicy, and I've got perfect chicken breast. So the next time you're prepping chicken, make sure you give these things a shot. Get some scissors, make your life easier. Let your chicken breast marinate for a little bit. Get a food thermometer and watch how much better your chicken turns out.